Welcome to Every Day It's Macaroni. I'm Joy Alfred Brand.
And I'm Juliet Connell. And we're the hosts of Everyday Macaroni, the podcast.
This podcast is a look at the lighter side of life, where we talk about our adventures as a modern blended family.
So sit back, relax,
and prepare to have your funny bone tickled. Welcome back to the podcast, listener. Boy, do we have a treat for you. In this episode, we talk about the culinary world of veggie pies and take a taste into the world of international home cooking style cuisine with a little medieval pie making thrown in for good effect. This episode is special, listener, because we actually have a sample of deliciousness for your listening and viewing pleasure. You'll have to listen in to see what I mean. Without further ado, I present the following episode that I'm calling Vegetable Pie.
It's delicious. The pie, really delicious.
Okay. Now this is a little bit different because we actually have an exhibit for this episode, right?
Dun dun dun.
So what I'm going to do, because this is...
No, it's not exhibitionary. It's an exhibit.
Well, because we've talked a little bit about food in the past, right? The food situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this past weekend was Halloween. For the Halloween party that we had at the house, Ron made a pizza oven on the back of our outdoor fireplace. He built a pizza oven. And so everyone came over for Halloween celebration. One good thing about your family is whenever we're getting together for some kind of an event or celebration or whatever, then...
Little technical difficulties.
Oh my God, for real. Here, maybe it'll work better if I go like this. What I'm doing is I'm setting up my iPhone here a little bit so we can videotape this as we are going through it, and that way I can upload it onto my Instagram with the hashtag Everyday Macaroni, and so everyone can enjoy the splendor
that is vegetable pie.
Well, and I can't remember what he called it. Okay, so let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Before we do the unveiling here. Now, it's rare that we actually have an example of what's going on.
I feel like you're unveiling some sort of archaeological find. You know, like there's a mummy under that tin.
I think the vegetables are mummified.
Never seen before.
Well,
the elusive vegetable pie.
The issue here is we've talked a little bit about the food in the past, and now we actually have a physical specimen that everyone can see. So hang on, I'm going to check.
Where's my scalpel?
Right. Well, here's the scalpel. If you want to give some background.
I'm not quite sure that that's Spanish, but okay. Well, those of us that know my parents know that they put everything they have into making these dishes. My mom will make traditional Spanish empanada, and she will decorate the whole top of it. She'll even put your initials on it if you're going to dinner there. So they do spend an extreme amount of time making all these dishes. And where they research some of these things, I don't know. I don't know if it comes from memory. I don't know if it's family old recipes. I can't imagine it's YouTube. But this one in particular, I would say came from like Henry VIII era. What's that? 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie? What is that? Nursery rhyme?
It is a nursery rhyme, right? First of all, let me say, this is a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know they were making a dish. I'm sorry, I interrupted you and I shouldn't have.
No, I mean, all I was saying is that they take great pride in making what they think is a really good dish. And if it turns out not so great, they still are very happy that they've incorporated half of their day baking whatever they were making, whatever it was that they were making, 3 or 4 hours before it's actually served.
Well, they do put a lot of work into it. I will say that. They put a lot of work into it. Mm-hmm. In fact, do you recall last year during the pandemic when your mother made the empanada and she spelled out "stay home" on top of it? If you want to see a picture of it, search #everyday macaroni. You'll see it.
She might have had 2 people on either end, 6 feet apart.
Maybe.
2 little stick people.
Social distance empanada. I don't know. And she made an empanada for my sister and spelled Mickey on it.
Nice.
I think if I remember, I might have a picture of that too somewhere.
If
but
you're
I'm not
lucky, that's what you get for your birthday, an empanada with your initials on it.
Oh no, I disagree. If you're lucky, what you get for your birthday is tortilla.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite.
Oh, that's my favorite too.
Yeah. Potato
that's
tortilla.
My favorite. Tortilla.
But it has to be warm.
And it has to be plain.
And
it can't have anything in it.
No onions, no peppers.
Okay. So, I think for tonight's...
You're going to let the unveiling?
Oh, yeah.
I think I've drank more than enough to get this to get through this segment.
Well, for this particular episode, we're going to do a little taste test of this unique physical specimen of culinary delight. Okay, so they brought it over in this state, right? So basically, it's a cheesecake pan.
Right.
Upside down.
Right.
On a very nice china plate, right? I don't know where the plate came from, but whatever. Let's go ahead and give it a lift. All right. Ready?
Is it? Can you just lift it? Is that all you do?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Oh, it did.
Oh, look at that.
Well, there you go.
Yes, look at that. Okay, let's put this down right here. Now look.
Okay, now watch yourself. Blackbirds are coming out of that.
Okay, well, as you can see, so again, yesterday was Halloween. Ron had the new pizza oven up and going. Everybody came over. And what's great about your family is whenever we're having some kind of an event like that, everybody wants to chip in.
Oh, yeah. Everyone chips in. They all bring something. And they typically will never turn down an invitation, ever.
True. Very, very true. And so, for whatever reason, your parents decide it's a great idea to make this what I think your dad calls a vegetable pie, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to move it closer to the camera so you can have a look. And actually,
do you think you can do that by yourself? I mean, it is kind of heavy.
It's pretty dense, I will have to say.
Is.
Now, here's my understanding of what's in it, okay? It's some kind of crust.
Right. It's like a pie crust.
Well, yeah, I guess it's like a pie crust. And I want to say it's probably pre-made pie crust that you buy in the supermarket, right?
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay, some kind of crust. And the inside of it has vegetables and hard-boiled eggs.
Right.
Okay.
Completely void of onions and peppers.
As far as you know.
As far as I know.
That might not be right.
Because I did specifically ask. And he laughed and said no.
Which might not be true.
No, they could be shoved in there.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Because clearly you on your own can't decide what you do and do not like. Because I've told your mother repeatedly.
No, you know what it's all about? It's all about making it once. That's what they were all about. Making it once. So they're going to make it the way they like it. And then they're going to hide the fact that whatever it is I don't like isn't really in there. And if they deny it, they're golden unless I spot something. And I've become really good at that, haven't I?
Well, yeah, we could talk about the spaghetti sauce I made. And you're like, there's no onions in here, right? And I took a stick blender. And I blended that sauce until it was liquid. And, of course, the one tiny sliver, microscopic piece of onion, you find it and dig it out. What's this, Joy?
I know.
The offensive onion. But I have been in situations where, say, for example, Ron doesn't like spicy food, right? Here we are. We're over there. We're eating something. Let's say they've made tacos or some kind of weird enchilada concoction. You know how that goes, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
you see, those are easy to kind of stick stuff in there.
Yeah.
Because they got all that sauce on there.
Right. And they're using stuff up. Right. And so Ron will say, is it spicy? And your dad will say, no, it's not spicy. No. And then Ron will take a bite. And there's jalapenos in it.
And there's like flames coming out of his ears.
Right. And Ron will say, Dad, I asked you if it was spicy. What's in here? What's in here? And your dad will say, oh, no, nothing. No. Okay. Maybe pickled jalapeno.
Maybe. But no, nothing spicy. No. And Ron's like, oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to move it closer to the camera.
Okay.
If you want to see it, again, you can see it on I'm going to put this on my Instagram. So hang on a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh. It does look like
4 and 20 blackbirds.
No, like Anne Boleyn made it in her kitchen. Right?
I'm officially recording on my iPhone 11. So you can have a look at this bit of delicious culinary delight here. Okay.
And you know, I mean, to be fair, we haven't actually tried it.
No, we haven't. Okay.
So it might be delicious. Let's start out saying this is a delicious bit of vegetable pie and see where that takes us.
Okay. I don't know. The reason there's a slice missing is because your dad, who made this culinary masterpiece, decided yesterday, I want to try. Can you cut a little slice? Just a little one. I want to try and see. So that's why there's a little bit missing. Okay, so how do you want to do this? I have the implement of destruction.
Well, okay, cut into it. I was just going to take my fork and dive in.
Really?
But go ahead and cut it. Look, it's all vegetables and an egg.
No, there's more than one egg in there.
Well, yeah, I guess so. So it's all vegetables and then
This thing weighs
boiled
eggs.
eggs.
I don't know how many. Here, let me try to get part of the egg there. I don't know if
Well,
I can.
yeah, cut
Well,
a couple
whatever.
of slivers so that there's enough there to... Okay.
Oh, there's olives. I see an olive. No, is that a mushroom? I can't tell. I don't know. Get in there. Go ahead. You first.
All right.
You get a forkful and I'll get a
All
forkful.
right, let me find my piece. Hold on a second.
See,
Yes,
this is what happens.
I'm cherry picking.
Then
I don't want that carrot. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, I've got a piece. Ooh.
I would rather have the carrot and have a little bit of egg. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait. It fell. Wait a second. Okay,
Like-
you ready?
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, it's not bad. It's not bad. It really isn't. As a matter of fact, maybe if we would have put this in the oven and it was hot, he's got cheese in there. So if the cheese would have gotten melty hot,
What?
because
What
I
is
think
it that
that
tastes bitter?
there's a binding thing. It's probably the spinach. But I think that if it were hot, you know, it would taste like spinach or artichoke dip with egg and carrot.
I think it does have egg in it. Well, not just the hard boiled egg, but it might have egg as a binder or whatever.
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, it would have to have a binder in there. Okay, I'm just going to go in and sample the pastry.
You got to be close to the microphone.
It's okay. Actually, it's just like a normal pie. It is.
Okay.
So it is a pie.
That is store-bought pie crust.
Yeah.
Because your parents never make their own pastry or dough or anything anymore.
No, it's good. I'm still thinking this might have been edible had it been hot. I mean, you know, like everything else I ate growing up. I think I would have hid it from, you know, prying eyes because they probably would have thought I was weird.
Well,
I'd be like, what the heck is that?
this does remind me a lot of moussaka.
Moussaka.
Yes, it does remind me a lot of that.
Moussaka.
So I don't know what's bitter in there. Oh, I know what's bitter in there. I bet they put broccoli rabe in there. Let me see.
I don't know. Can you get broccoli rabe in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Because the closest thing that we used to find when we first moved down here was mustard greens, and that is really, really bitter. But I thought he said that I'm not for sure, but I thought he said there was just spinach in there is what all that green is. The carrot, I'm just not fond of.
I think the carrot's the best part.
Oh, yeah, I'm okay with it. I give it a C, maybe a C plus. I think personally you should cut it into slivers and put it in Ron's lunch because it's full of vegetables.
No, because I love him. No. He eats vegetables. I give him vegetables.
Are you kidding? He would eat that. He would eat that with hot dogs.
If he made it himself, it would have hot dogs in it.
He would eat that, toast a bagel, and slip it in there.
Yeah, I tell you. I don't know what you guys ate growing up.
I don't know. This with wine is pretty good.
Well.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Mikey, he likes it. You can have it. It's all yours.
No.
Yeah.
Not unless we were dieting.
Not unless you were dieting.
Yeah, because then we would eat very, very little.
Mm-hmm. So is this reminiscent of everything you ever ate growing up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this encapsulates my childhood eating pretty well. It's right up there with blood sausage. You know, giving a blood sausage, and you're not British, to your 7 and 8 year olds. No. It's called blood sausage. What? I'm not going to eat that. It's a black sausage. That's because it's cooked. That's the color the blood turns when it got cooked. I'm like, oh, you're not making it any more appetizing. But I do like period movies and period dramas, and I do like its look. I do like the look.
Let's put the
What
lid
would we
back on.
call that? That would be called a tart, wouldn't it?
No, this
What
is
would
a
it be?
pie. This is like a.
Nah.
Yes, it is. It's like.
Is it really? That's what they would call that?
You know what it looks like to me?
It weighs like 5 pounds.
Right. It's like an English pie, like a pork pie. If anyone watches the Great British Baking Show,
No.
You never watched that?
They'll never see this on the
yes,
Great
this
Baking
is.
Show.
Oh, come on! This is like.
No. If you've ever
This
watched
is like
period
those
dramas
molded
and you've
pies.
watched 15th and 16th century castle, I don't know what movie, then you'll see a whole bunch of those.
This is like
And
those
you eat it
molded
with your
pies.
You eat it with those forks, that only have 3 tongues.
Listener, I'm interrupting this podcast to note that Juliet meant to say fork tine, not fork tong. I feel better. And now, back to the podcast.
No.
While in the other hand, you're holding on to a chicken
Turkey leg.
Or a turkey leg.
No. This is like one of those
Can you pass the mead?
molded pies. Wait a minute. I'm keeping. My corset needs adjusting.
I think my veil just got in my dish here.
Rapunzel. No, this is like one of those molded pies. There's a couple ways they make it. They take a dish like this,
Yeah.
and they line it with dough, which is what your parents have done.
Uh-huh.
And then you put your vegetables and your meats and your like gelatin or whatever inside of it, right? And then you put a lid on it and you bake it like 420 blackbirds baked in a pie or whatever. Okay. And the other way they do it is they have those big wooden molds and they mold the dough around it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is like,
Yeah.
except it's all vegetable.
Well, you see, look, I think that if this is how medieval times ate, I'd be okay.
Oh, come on.
So far,
yeah, you'd be okay
I'm
because
thinking
you were
I'd be
raised
okay.
like that. Eating that stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
What was the worst thing you had to eat growing up?
The blood sausage.
Really? Because your mother fed that to me as well. In fact, I have a picture of it somewhere. I will find it and I will put it on my Instagram. Blood sausage in those gigantic beans.
The green ones?
No, they're not green. They're like
white.
big giant.
They're probably lima beans because my parents always ate a lot of lima beans. I'm okay
I would rather eat
with
crayons.
the beans. I mean, I'm okay
I would
with
just
the
as soon
beans.
eat crayons.
It's just the cannelloni beans. Those are probably my favorite.
Cannellini beans.
Cannelloni.
Cannelloni is Italian pasta.
Whatever. Manja. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I can probably eat, for the most part, most beans. The lima bean gives me the hardest time.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I don't know. Maybe that too. I'm like, I don't know. I'm okay with the lentils. The one thing I don't like about lentil stew or soup or whatever they call it, and that's painstaking, or at least the way my mom made it. I mean, she would buy 2 bags of lentils and go through each and every lentil, and any lentil that was broken or any lentil that looked discolored,
She still does.
she threw them out. No, she just didn't pour them in there. And then you had to, I think you had to soak them, and I really never made it. But the one thing I didn't like about it was the bacon that she would put in it. Now in Spain, if I'm not mistaken, they would throw a solid piece of bacon. So imagine a brick of bacon that you have yet to slice up.
Yeah, like here, wouldn't we call that fatback?
Yes. So 1 square piece of fat bag, and then that goes in there, and it gives the dish some saltiness and some smokiness.
Well, if it's smoke cured bacon.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Obviously, that's so much harder to find in certain places. So bacon sliced up, and then it's diced, and she would dice it up. And she would fry it up too. I mean, so it was all fried and it was really tasty before she put it in there. But once she puts it in there, then it gets soggy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then the fat turns back into
its crispiness, and then it gets floppy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I cannot stand floppy bacon. No. That's just gross. Yeah. So, but yeah, the worst thing for me to eat was the blood sausage. Just the idea that there was a morcilla.
Yeah.
Just the idea that there was a ton of blood in it, enough to discolor it, and
well, I tried it just because, first of all, your parents made it, and I was still.
You were still new?
Relatively new. I think I was maybe 5 or 6 years in.
And you didn't learn how to eat around certain things, huh?
Oh, no. I mean, well, let me tell you something. You want to talk about picky eaters. I am not a picky eater. You guys are all picky eaters, including your dad. He's a picky eater.
Yeah.
He's quite picky. He will.
Which is hysterical. But you know what? I think it's because all four of us have our own, I don't know what you would call it, like our own list of things that are okay to eat in whatever form. Ron, when growing up, don't give him a sandwich with cheese in it because he was totally against cheese. And now he eats it fine and whatnot. But if there were cheese in there, he would somehow magically
make the cheese disappear.
Yeah, stick it to his napkin or something, put it under his chair, have the dog eat it.
Didn't he stick it behind the sofa one time?
He stuck it right to the sofa, but he was little. I mean, he was like 2 or 3. Back there, and there was like the Kraft American slices all right in there attached to the sofa. I think my mom would have killed him if she saw them.
Oh yeah,
because she had a beautiful. They had like this red wool sofa, mid-century modern. It had the wood in the front with the little tapered legs.
So pretty.
Oh, it was so nice. And then yellow cheese slices on the back.
Stuck in the wool, the little wool fibers. Yeah, because you know that stuff is like glue.
So I think that we all have, I think for my dad and my mom, they're picky eaters, but it's not the actual ingredients for them. I think for them, it's the preparation. For me,
I don't know about
it's the ingredients.
No, I don't think that's right. No.
You think there's stuff that they won't eat?
Yes.
That they haven't prepared? I think I can give them chicken neck, and whether they liked it or not, they would prepare it and then they would eat it because they prepared it.
Okay, so yes, I agree with you to a certain extent, but they stick in their wheelhouse, in their comfort zone.
Yeah, but I think the majority of us do. I mean, unless you're a food critic.
No, I get adventurous and I eat different kinds of foods and things.
What?
But your mother, she won't eat Chinese food to save her life.
Yeah, I know, but I think
she doesn't want to eat like Hungarian goulash, or she doesn't want to eat food that is not solely within her comfort zone.
I think it's because she hasn't prepared it, or my dad. Because I bet that if you gave my dad a recipe for like beef and broccoli, right, that they would eat it.
Yeah, if he made it. Probably.
If he made it.
But your mother only likes certain kinds. She likes meat that's extra super double well done.
Oh, yeah.
And a vegetable and a salad and some bread. That's what she likes.
Yeah, yeah.
Or some fish. But the fish, they have to have prepared it themselves.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to eat fish out.
Right.
And if the meat, she has these words have left her mouth. And I wonder if I'm sure I have it recorded somewhere, but I don't know. She has actually said to me, if there's juice in the meat, that means it's not done. So if there's any liquid in the meat, that means it needs to be cooked some more.
So when Ken makes his beef jerky, we should cut off a piece and say, here's your steak.
This is like vegetable jerky.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what this is.
Well, I think it just seems dry
and bitter.
Because it's not warm. I think if it's cutting into that, putting it in the oven, getting it all nice and gooey, and then eating it with tortillas.
What's funny, listeners, is that, oh, that's terrible. No. What's funny is when
bad.
we talked briefly about what we were going to talk about in this episode, Juliet said, wouldn't it be funny if I liked it and you didn't?
I know. I did say that, didn't I? I forgot about that.
And the fact is, she would be willing to eat it, and no, I'm done. I had my nibble. I got part of the egg and whatever mystery vegetable was in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that white vegetable was that you ate.
No, that was part of the egg.
Oh, was it?
That was part of the hard-boiled egg.
Oh, it was a little brown.
Because who makes a vegetable pie and puts hard-boiled eggs in it?
It's a good source of protein.
Yeah. But it's veggie.
It's veggie with protein. See? In order to get protein in that, you would either have to put an egg in there or a whole bunch of beans. And beans are the magical fruit, you know. I don't know that anyone wants to be around each other after that.
Well, what's funny is...
Especially 5 pounds of it.
Oh, I know. Oh, my God. This thing really literally weighs. It's got to weigh...
Honestly, I think it's 5 pounds.
No, it's got to be heavier than that.
I was trying to hold on to that while she was taking a picture, and I was holding it with one hand, and my hand started to shake.
It's super heavy, super dense.
I'm Henry VIII, I am. Henry VIII, I am.
Oh, I wish you could all enjoy a slice of this deliciousness. It's very...
Yeah, because misery loves company. That's what she's thinking.
Ooh, listener, guess what time it is? It's time for a fact check. So, the birds in the pie song, it's actually called Sing a Song of Sixpence, and I got this information from a website called rhymes.org.uk/blackbirds in a pie. Now, this nursery rhyme is pretty interesting. First of all, the words go like this. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 24 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing, oh, wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king? The king was in his counting house, counting out his money. The queen was in the parlor, eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes, when down came a blackbird and pecked off her nose. This fantastic website talks about the meaning behind this particular nursery rhyme, and it's believed that the song was a parody about the relationship between King Henry VIII of England and his second wife, Anne Boleyn. In preparation for a visit by the king to the home of Anne Boleyn, netters were sent out into the fields of the estate with rye in their pockets to spread around to catch a mass of blackbirds. 24 blackbirds, feathers still on, were baked into a massive pie that looked beautiful on the outside, but when the pie was cut open, the smell was terrible. Yummy. So the words began to sing is a funny way of referring to this in English slang. And that's true for the words the dainty dish as well. That was intended to be very sarcastic. And the queen in the parlor eating bread and honey, that was in reference to the queen living a life of luxury while poor people suffered. Anne Boleyn was hated by the English people as she had replaced the previous popular queen, Catherine of Aragon. Henry was a womanizer. Anne Boleyn had been a maid-in-waiting to Queen Catherine when he took a fancy to her. Now, the blackbird symbolizes those who are tempted by carnal pleasures. Dun dun dun. Thus concludes the fact check portion of this episode. Well, that's another fun episode of Everyday Macaroni. I would, again, like to give a shout out to rhymes.org.uk for the fun information about the nursery rhyme in today's episode. I would also like to thank my father-in-law for taking the time to make this delicious artifact. Now, listener, I know it sounds like I'm a picky eater, but in fact, I am not. Don't tell Juliet, but I took the crust off that pie and turned it into a dish I fed her later in the week. Don't worry, I heated it up and put some cheese on it just for her. I fed it to her with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. It was not delicious, but you know what I did taste in it? The love. Aww. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our one listener for supporting us by downloading this episode and sharing it. If you want to see a picture of the vegetable pie, and hopefully the video, if I can figure out how to upload it, check out our Instagram page when you get a chance, and while you're there, give us a like and a follow. Finally, just in case listening to this episode gave you heartburn or made you queasy in any way, first of all, we're not to be held responsible for that, but you could take an antacid like Tums or Pepto-Bismol. Now, this episode was not sponsored by Tums or Pepto-Bismol, but it should have been. I hope you enjoyed listening and sharing a laugh or two with us. Stay tuned for more everyday macaroni adventures on future podcast episodes. And if you want to see some pictures of us, you can follow us on Instagram by searching #everydaymacaroni or #everydaymacaroni. If you want to shop for some fun macaroni merch, head over to our website, everydaymacaroni.com. Don't forget, if you have a blended family story to share, email us at info@everydaymacaroni.com and put the word share in the subject line. Your story might end up on a future podcast episode. How fun would that be? Finally, don't forget to give us a like, share, download, or a good review. The more interaction we get for the podcast, the more episodes we can post. Again, thanks for listening, and join us for the next episode of
Every day it's macaroni!